Welcome to English Chat Flow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Chat Flow. I'm Melissa, and I'm really happy you are here with us today.
And I'm Mark. It's great to have you with us again. We always imagine you listening somewhere in the world, maybe at home, on the bus, or getting ready for bed.
Yes, and wherever you are, we hope you feel comfortable and relaxed while listening. Today, we're talking about something that many people experience but don't always discuss openly.
We're going to talk about how to calm your mind at night.
This episode is designed for B2 to C1 English learners, so we'll use natural, clear English with longer sentences and real conversational rhythm.
And remember, you don't need to understand every single word perfectly. Just listen, follow the ideas, and let your English grow naturally.
Before we go deeper into the topic, here is a simple question for you to think about while you listen.
What usually keeps your mind awake at night?
Maybe it's work, maybe it's study, maybe it's money, or maybe it's something personal that keeps returning to your thoughts.
Many people discover that the body feels tired, but the mind keeps talking.
That's such a good description. You want to sleep, but your thoughts suddenly become very active.
Sometimes you start remembering conversations from earlier in the day.
Or you begin thinking about tomorrow's responsibilities.
Or your brain decides that midnight is the perfect time to solve every problem in your life.
Yes, it's amazing how creative our minds can become when we're trying to sleep.
The important thing is that this experience is very common. If your mind feels busy at night, you are not alone.
And tonight, we're not going to talk about complicated medical advice. We're going to focus on simple habits and ways of thinking that can help many people feel calmer.
Let's start with a basic idea. Your mind does not suddenly become noisy at bedtime.
That's interesting. What do you mean by that?
During the day, we're often busy. We answer messages, work, study, talk to people, and move from one task to another.
So there isn't much quiet time to notice all our thoughts.
Exactly. But when the room becomes quiet and the lights are low, those thoughts become easier to hear.
It's almost like the volume of the world goes down and the volume of the mind goes up.
That's a great way to describe it.
So the goal is not to force the mind to become completely silent.
Right. For many people, trying to force silence actually creates more tension.
Because then you start thinking, why am I still thinking?
Exactly. And that becomes another thought to worry about.
Instead, we can learn to guide the mind gently toward a calmer state.
One of the simplest ways to begin is with your breathing.
Let's explain that clearly. What kind of breathing are we talking about?
Nothing complicated, just slow, comfortable breathing.
So not a special technique that feels difficult.
No. For example, you can inhale slowly through your nose, then breathe out a little more slowly.
The important thing is that the exhale is gentle and relaxed.
Yes, when people are anxious, they often breathe quickly without realizing it.
And slowing the breath can send a signal to the body that it is safe to relax.
You can even count quietly if that helps. For example, inhale for 4 counts and exhale for 6.
That longer exhale can feel surprisingly calming.
Another helpful habit is reducing stimulation before bed.
By stimulation, you mean things that make the brain more active.
Exactly. Bright screens, stressful news, intense work, or emotional conversations can all make it harder to settle down.
Sometimes people finish working and immediately try to sleep.
Yes, but the mind may still be running at work speed.
So it can help to create a short transition period.
Even 15 or 20 minutes can make a difference.
During that time, you might read something light, listen to calm music, stretch gently, or simply sit quietly.
The message you're giving your brain is the busy part of the day is ending now.
I like that idea because many of us expect sleep to happen instantly.
But just as a car needs time to slow down, the mind often needs time to slow down too.
Another common problem is replaying the day.
Yes, people think about what they said, what they should have said, or what went wrong.
Have you ever had a moment where you suddenly remember a small, embarrassing mistake from years ago?
Oh, yes, and somehow it feels very important at 2 in the morning.
It's funny how the mind works.
One useful response is to remind yourself that nighttime is not always the best time for accurate judgment.
That's an important point. When we're tired, problems can appear larger than they really are.
Exactly. A thought that seems overwhelming at night may feel much smaller the next morning.
So instead of trying to solve everything immediately, you can say, I'll think about this tomorrow when I'm rested.
That simple sentence can remove a lot of pressure.
Some people also find it helpful to write down their thoughts.
Yes, if a worry keeps repeating, putting it on paper can help the brain let go of it for a while.
You don't need to write a long journal.
Just a few short notes, like call the bank tomorrow, finish the report, or think about this later.
The goal is not to create more work.
The goal is to tell your mind, I won't forget this, I can rest now.
And that can create a feeling of mental relief.
Another gentle technique is to bring your attention back to the present moment.
For example, you can notice the feeling of the pillow, the blanket, or the temperature of the room.
When your attention returns to physical sensations, it often moves away from endless mental stories.
It's not about fighting the thoughts.
It's about gently choosing a different place to put your attention.
That's a very calm and realistic approach.
And sometimes calming the mind begins with accepting that thoughts will come and go naturally.
Instead of treating every thought like an emergency.
Exactly. A thought is not always a problem that needs an immediate solution.
The more we practice that idea, the easier it becomes to relax at night.
And many people discover that a calmer relationship with their thoughts can be just as helpful as any bedtime routine.
So, Mark, we've talked about breathing, reducing stimulation, and letting go of thoughts that don't need immediate solutions. But I think many listeners have another question.
Yes, and I think I know what it is. What do we do when the mind keeps returning to the same worry again and again?
Exactly. Some thoughts don't disappear after one deep breath.
That's true. And I've learned that repeating a worry usually means the mind is looking for a feeling of safety or control.
So instead of asking, how can I stop thinking about this, we can ask, what is this thought trying to protect me from?
That's a powerful question. For example, if someone keeps worrying about work, maybe they're afraid of making a mistake.
Or if they keep thinking about money, maybe they're worried about security in the future.
When we understand the emotion underneath the thought, the mind often becomes less tense.
Because we're no longer fighting the thought, we're listening to what it's trying to say.
Of course, that doesn't mean we need to solve everything immediately.
Right. Sometimes the best response is simply, I understand why I'm worried, and I can take care of this tomorrow.
Another thing that helps many people is creating a simple nighttime routine.
A routine tells the brain that sleep is approaching.
Yes, it doesn't need to be complicated. It can be the same 3 or 4 small actions every night.
For example, dim the lights, drink a glass of water, stretch for a minute, and read a few pages of a book.
When those actions happen regularly, the brain begins to associate them with rest.
It's almost like giving your mind a gentle signal that the day is ending.
Exactly, and consistency is often more important than perfection.
I think that's important for listeners to hear. You don't need the perfect bedtime routine from a magazine.
No, you just need a routine that feels realistic and calming for you.
Let's talk about something else. What about people who wake up in the middle of the night with a racing mind?
That can be frustrating. Many people fall asleep easily, but then wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning.
And suddenly their thoughts become very active.
In that situation, I think it helps not to panic.
Because the moment we think, oh no, I'm awake again, we often become more alert.
Exactly. Instead of treating it like an emergency, you can acknowledge it calmly.
Something like, I'm awake right now, and that's okay.
Yes, then return to slow breathing or focus on a simple, neutral thought.
What do you mean by a neutral thought?
Something that doesn't create strong emotions. For example, imagining a quiet beach, a forest path, or even counting slowly.
The goal is to give the mind something gentle to follow.
Exactly. We're redirecting attention, not forcing sleep.
I've noticed that people often put pressure on themselves to fall asleep quickly.
Yes, and that pressure can become the biggest obstacle.
The harder we try to make sleep happen, the more awake we feel.
It's a strange paradox, isn't it?
Very strange.
Sometimes a helpful mindset is, my job is to rest, not to force sleep.
That takes away some of the pressure.
Yes, if you're lying quietly, breathing slowly, and relaxing your body, you're already doing something beneficial.
Let's also talk about the body, because calming the mind and calming the body are connected.
Absolutely. When the body is tense, the mind often stays alert.
One simple exercise is to notice areas of tension.
Common places are the shoulders, the jaw, the neck, and the hands.
Many people don't realize they're holding tension there.
You can gently relax each area one by one.
For example, soften your shoulders, relax your jaw, and let your hands rest naturally.
As the body relaxes, the mind often follows.
Another thing I've learned is that nighttime thoughts often sound very convincing.
That's true. A worry at night can feel like an absolute fact.
But in reality, it may be only one possible interpretation.
Exactly. When we're tired, the mind sometimes focuses on the worst-case scenario.
So it can help to ask, is this definitely true, or is it just a worried thought?
That question creates a little distance between you and the worry.
And that distance can make the thought feel less overwhelming.
I'd like to share a personal example.
Please do.
Sometimes before an important meeting, I start imagining every possible problem.
That sounds familiar.
One night, I noticed that I had been mentally rehearsing the meeting for almost an hour.
Wow.
Finally, I told myself, I have prepared enough for today. More worrying is not the same as more preparation.
That's an excellent sentence.
It helped me stop confusing anxiety with productivity.
I think many listeners will relate to that.
What about you, Melissa? Do you have a nighttime habit that helps?
Yes, I try to end the day with one simple question. What went well today?
I like that.
Even on difficult days, I can usually find one small positive thing.
Maybe a good conversation, a finished task, or a quiet moment.
Exactly. It helps balance the mind because our attention naturally moves toward problems.
And remembering something positive can create a calmer emotional state before sleep.
Another helpful idea is to avoid judging yourself for having thoughts.
Yes, having thoughts is part of being human.
A calm mind doesn't mean an empty mind.
It means a mind that is not fighting itself all the time.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
So if your thoughts appear tonight, you don't need to be afraid of them. You can notice them, breathe, and gently return your attention to the present moment.
And little by little, the mind often becomes quieter on its own. As we come toward the end of this conversation, I think there is one final idea that can make a big difference.
Yes, and that idea is kindness toward yourself.
Many people become frustrated when they can't calm their mind immediately.
They think, why can't I relax? What is wrong with me?
But usually nothing is wrong. The mind is simply carrying the experiences, responsibilities, and emotions of a busy life.
Exactly. And a tired mind deserves patience, not criticism.
Imagine speaking to a good friend who is feeling anxious at night.
You probably wouldn't say, stop worrying immediately.
No, you would speak gently.
You might say, take a breath. It's okay. You don't have to solve everything right now.
And sometimes we need to speak to ourselves in that same gentle way.
Another helpful reminder is that calmness is a practice, not a switch.
That means some nights will feel easier than others.
Yes, you may have a peaceful night, then a difficult night, and then another peaceful night.
Progress is not always a straight line.
What matters is that you keep practicing the habits that help you feel more settled.
Let's review a few of the ideas we discussed today.
First, slow and gentle breathing can help calm the body and the mind.
Second, reducing stimulation before bed gives your brain time to slow down.
Third, writing down worries or tasks can help your mind let go of them temporarily.
Fourth, focusing on physical sensations can bring your attention back to the present moment.
And fifth, treating yourself with patience can reduce the pressure that often keeps people awake.
I'd also like to review some useful English vocabulary from this episode.
Good idea. The first word is stimulation.
Stimulation means something that makes the brain or body more active.
For example, bright screens can create stimulation before bedtime.
Another word is tension.
Tension means a feeling of tightness or stress in the body or mind.
We also used the word neutral.
A neutral thought is a thought that does not create strong emotions.
Another useful word is associate.
When the brain associates one thing with another, it connects them together.
For example, your brain may associate a bedtime routine with sleep.
We also talked about pressure.
Pressure is a feeling that you must achieve something or perform well.
Too much pressure can make relaxation more difficult.
And finally, we used the word settled.
When you feel settled, you feel calm, stable, and relaxed.
Now let's do a quick reflection exercise together.
If you're listening in a quiet place, take one slow breath in.
And slowly breathe out.
Ask yourself this question: what is one thing I can release tonight?
Maybe it's a worry.
Maybe it's a mistake from earlier today.
Maybe it's the pressure to have everything figured out.
Whatever it is, imagine putting it down for a while.
You can return to it tomorrow if needed.
But tonight, you are allowed to rest.
I think that's a message many people need to hear.
I agree. Rest is not a reward that you earn only after solving every problem.
Rest is a basic human need.
And sometimes the most productive thing you can do is get a good night's sleep.
Before we finish, here is a small English practice for you.
Complete this sentence. Tonight, I will help my mind feel calmer by...
You could say, tonight I will help my mind feel calmer by turning off my phone earlier.
Or, tonight, I will help my mind feel calmer by taking 5 slow breaths.
Or, tonight I will help my mind feel calmer by writing down my worries.
This is a simple way to practice English while also creating a healthy habit.
If you'd like, you can write your sentence in the comments.
We always enjoy reading your messages and hearing how you practice English in your daily life.
Thank you for spending this time with us.
We hope this conversation brought a little more calm to your evening.
Remember, you don't need a perfectly quiet mind.
You just need a gentle way to guide your thoughts back toward rest.
Take care of yourself tonight.
And we'll see you in the next episode of English Chat Flow.